Hey, well, this is a new experience here for us all from the Good Morning America crowd. Hey, I just think I didn't know that we could do this. I'm actually broadcasting live on Facebook, on YouTube, but I was trying to get it to come over to Facebook. But anyway, I don't know how many people are here. I'm going to go back to tomorrow's show. We're going to go ahead and we got one watching, that says. Anyway, here, let's just see if I can share this to Facebook. And now, hey, watch me. WATCH. Oh, I see. Post to my Facebook. Okay, so now it's working. So, well, we don't know what's happening right now, so because we've never done this before. This is a little bit out of our regular type of show. Everything seems to be going along okay. That's the funny part. Anyway, let's see here. There we go, Facebook. And let's refresh Facebook here. Hey, guess what? It's working. I'm on Facebook too. Okay, so this is a special edition of my show. Good morning from the ranch. And of course, it's not morning anymore, it's the afternoon. But anyway, everything seems to be working. There is a long delay because I see that you guys aren't seeing where I'm at right now already. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and do the show tomorrow morning. Don't forget, we'll be back on the air 7:30 in the morning, just as usual. And we want to go ahead and have you guys tune in and watch us in the morning. God, we have a great show. We have a great audience. I love doing these shows. And so anyway, I guess I just wanted to say hello again. And anyway, today's been one of those days. You know, have you ever had one of those days? Yeah, things kind of going haywire. I see people are chiming in here. And so anyway, gosh, this is great. So anyway, it's one of those days, and it seems like everything's kind of, what can go wrong is going wrong, and so it's going to be kind of a strange month, I think. June's going to be strange. But anyway, we're going to be getting out to the ranch, getting a lot of work done out there this month. Probably going to be moving some of my stuff out there and getting the movie set up. One of the things that, it's really funny with this, with all the rioting and demonstrations and everything, it's really funny because there's a lot of people that we're really worried about this pandemic thing, and God, we're wearing masks all the time and everything, and now with all the rioting and demonstrations and everything, you hardly hear anything about a number of deaths today. You know, they have a weekly death count, like it's a kind of a countdown thing, for the human race. So anyway, we haven't heard, in 3 days now, we haven't heard a word about the pandemic. Anyway, so, and now you got to remember too, they're waiting on this flu vaccine, Well, I was telling some friends of mine, the VA always asks me, hey, have you had your flu shot this year? Have you had your flu shot? Mostly people, your doctor asks you the same thing. And it's really funny because, people are taking and waiting to get their flu shot, and they're taking and, they get the flu shot. Well, is this going to prevent me from getting the flu? Well, no. This will prevent you from getting all the flus that were in the past This flu shot doesn't have any, we don't know what the next flu is going to be, so they have this flu down the road. So you have a flu and you still can get you get a flu vaccine, you still can get the flu. So anyway, one of the things that I talk about on my morning show all the time is preparedness. Wake up, America, get prepared. Just like this pandemic, first of all, we had the swine flu and the chicken flu and this flu and that flu, and then all these numbered flus, and now we've got the coronavirus. So, it's one of those things where, the American public, especially, I hope learned, if nothing else, from this last situation that's still actually going on. But I went, like I said, at the VA hospital today. They were still having people outside, and and the nurse checks you in at the door, and they put a mask on you just to go in to see your doctor or to have an X-ray or whatever. And it's just I don't know. I just, like I said, I don't know how many people are still getting the flu, so we don't know. So anyway, but my buddy Everett Triplett, is a good friend of mine, or a friend of mine. And anyway, so hey, also you want to take and I think there's a share thing, and then you want to subscribe to my YouTube page. That would be really nice of you. If you wanted to do that, you go ahead and click on it. I see there's only one watching now, but that's also on YouTube. I don't know if there's people on Facebook watching, and I can't tell. So anyway, this is like an experiment. Anyway, so we want to take and have about 120 to 160 days worth of rations. Anything could happen. There could be a bubonic plague. There could be a crisis. Just right even now, if you want to go out at night in Reno, Nevada, and other cities across the nation, they've got curfews up, and you can't go out. I know some people in other countries, they have curfews all the time. My buddy Fred, he can't leave his house. He's over 60, so they say you can't leave your house at all. And so anyway, so it's pretty sad. So anyway, so click subscribe and come back and watch our shows. So anyhow, like I said, we want to have about 120 to 160 days worth of food. And then not only food, now my good friend Everett was telling me that you also want to have a good supply of provision. Besides your food, you want to also have, spare socks. You want to have clean underpants. There could be a time when you're going to have to be, hunkered down, and you might, have, like me, I've got some T-shirts that should have been thrown out a while ago, but they're still so comfy to sleep in. I hang on to them. But anyhow, so you want to take and make sure that you don't hoard any one thing. That whole thing with the pandemic, and then everybody running down to Walmart and Kmart and Costco and buying every roll of toilet paper they had. This was a virus. It wasn't a case of diarrhea, and I don't even believe there was diarrhea involved with this particular flu. So why toilet paper? Why did people pick toilet paper to hoard? Except that was the rumor going around, I guess. But anyway, you want to have this food. You want to have spare clothing. Get matches. Just plain old everyday stick matches. And you want to go ahead and have a little propane torch, a little lantern. If let's say, for instance, just think about this. If something should happen and the power grid should go down, let's just, bam, all of a sudden, power grid's gone. What are you going to do? Your whole life is in your cell phone. people have become so dependent on their cell phone. My buddy John just lost his the other day, his cell phone, and he didn't have a clue of anybody's phone number to call. You get so used to going through your your contact list and picking somebody, you have no idea. And it's not like you can go to the yellow pages anymore. Remember when we used to have the yellow pages and you could look up, or white pages, I guess, you'd look up your friends and you look them up in the town and what have you, and then you'd look for their address, and sure enough there'd be Bob Smith, and you'd go ahead and give him a call on the phone. But nowadays we don't have a yellow pages, and there is no yellow pages for your cell phones. Good thing. And so anyway, so you want to take and go ahead and have a little notepad, and then start thinking about other ways to keep in contact with your friends and relatives. My buddy Kevin, I didn't know this until the other day. My buddy Kevin moved to Texas, and he got into ham radios. And so Kevin, he's a ham radio operator. On a good evening, a good night, he can talk halfway around the world to one of his buddies, that also has a ham radio. That's the key. Whatever you want to talk to somebody, they have to have the other half of the unit. They have some pretty good walkie-talkie things now that are good for up to a few miles line of sight. And so if you have your family, other members of your family living down the road or on the same property across the area, but if we were to lose electricity and it was off for any length of time, all of the batteries on your cell phones, all the batteries on your for everything are just going to, your iPads, your iPhones, your computers and everything, they'll all be down. There'll be no communication. And not only will you be down, but everybody else will be down. So you won't be able to go onto the net because the person that's your internet provider, they don't have power either. And so literally all communication will be cut off. There won't be anything that depends on electricity coming through the lines. So think about that. God, I mean, some of us old guys like me, I can remember, having a ranch and stuff and having property out in the country, and, we didn't have electricity, we didn't have running water actually. We didn't have a toilet in the house. But, you want to take and remember that this type of thing could happen at any time. It could be some natural disaster. We had a situation. I was living in El Dorado Hills, California, and this would have been about 1997, and we had a really bad storm. It rained, and then it froze, and then it froze more, and it froze more, and ironically, a catastrophe happened. One power pole snapped at the top. And then what it did is it applied pressure to all the other telephone poles. And so it was just like somebody took and pushed that domino over, and they went. And so about 5 miles of power line went down. Well, power was a little ways away. You could drive to town and go plug your phone in and charge it up. But at home, we had no well. We had no power. Our pellet stove didn't operate. And of course, the cell phones all went dead in no time, and the computers didn't work. And we didn't have most of your internet providers and your internet providers and your television providers, they all have a modem. And then the modem has to be plugged into the wall, so no power, no modem. And then, like I said, it could even extend farther than that. It could be that everybody is out. Everybody in your whole town, everybody in your whole community, everybody in your whole state because let's say if something happened to the power grid, all of a sudden it's going to go down, and it isn't something that they can flip a switch and all of a sudden everybody's all back on again. It's a very slow process. Look at the people in California. There's a perfect example. The people in California lost all their power, and because of the fires, if it was a windy day, the power company flipped the switch and everybody went black. And so there is a good example of what could happen, and it could happen for something as simple as the power company just wanted to prevent having to pay a lawsuit if in turn their power lines caught on fire, caught a grass fire. But anyway, be prepared. Get yourself a small generator. Get yourself, of course, what good will charging your phone do if the whole internet system is down? You're not going to be able to get on anyway. But then, like I said, stay in communication. It's going to be tough too to get gasoline. Let's just say the power grid goes down, or let's just say your whole area goes black, like in California. So, there was no gas stations. You couldn't take off in the car and go down the road to the gas station and go ahead and fill up, because they didn't have power, so the pumps don't work. So it's not like the old days. The old days I can remember, they had a glass tank up on top of the pump, and the guy hand pumped the gas pump, and he pumped the amount of gas that you wanted up to this glass cylinder at the top, and it was incremented, kind of like a measuring cup today, and it said 1 gallon, 2 gallons, 5 gallons, 10 gallons, all the way up. And then what would happen is when he got the correct amount of volume of gasoline up in that tank, he would go over, put the hose in your car, and then he would release the nozzle and unlatch the nozzle, and then of course the gas would just siphon down from the gravity feed right from the tank up there down into your car. So they don't have those anymore, and so it might be a little bit difficult. Now, some of you folks that were in that California situation, how did you guys manage to get by? You can call my show. For some of you people that don't, that have never seen my show, you can call the show, and there's our phone number, 775-219-5298. Now, you can ask questions if you want. You could just ask me anything from whether I'm single or not, or whether I grow tomato plants in my garden or whatever. I'll answer any question you might have, down the road. So anyway, God, we picked up a few new people watching. I think we won one and lost one. But anyhow, anyway, let's just say you come to Fallon, Nevada, and you're getting away and you come over to Fallon, Nevada. I want to tell you there is one exciting place that you might want to just check out. It's called the Running Iron Cafe. Now, the Running Iron Cafe is run by Shelley Gallagher, and I'll tell you what, that is one heck of a place. It's in two locations, but the Running Iron is in two locations, 710 South Taylor Street in Fallon, Nevada, which is downtown. And then out at the livestock yard at 2055 Torrento Lane in Fallon, she has a second location. And they have nightly specials, Wednesday through Sunday. So next time you're in town, they have a prime rib dinner smoked prime rib on Friday nights usually, and it's to die for. So when you get by, get in there, you can go ahead, and they do have dine-in now at both locations, and so just tell them Terry sent you, and Shelley will see that you're fixed right up. Great breakfast. We can ride our horses, and we'll get on our horses early in the morning, and we ride down by the railroad tracks, and we got a path that heads back an easement, and we can follow along and get back there, and we tie our horses up out front and just have our dinner right there, at our breakfast or dinner, or even lunch, at the Running Iron Cafe. So, and they have at the livestock auction, I believe this weekend, they have a big arena there, and last weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, they had cutting, and I believe this coming Saturday they're going to have team pinning. So you guys that like to do team pinning, you might just want to go ahead and come on out to the livestock yard there at the auction, and Fallon Livestock, and come out there and go ahead and join us with, because we're going to be doing it, or I think we're going to be doing it. Yeah. So anyway, getting back to preparedness, one of the things, it could be it could be just almost like camping. You don't have to you don't have to be miserable. And so if you've prepared, it wouldn't be such a bad thing. So anyway, another thing we want to do, another thing that we preach here on our show, is buy American. Buy American and buy local primarily. And you want to buy from your local rancher, your local farmer, get produce, you get beef, you get whatever, and get a group of people together and create a little kind of a co-op type situation, and go out and line up some beef, and divvy it up between the three of you, and some pork, and do the same thing. And you don't have to buy a lot. You can go to your local butcher if you have a small refrigerator or what have you, and you can go ahead and buy just what you need, but buy enough that you have enough in the freezer that you could get by for 120 days. And then, like I said, have bacon. You go out, it's summer, and all this produce is going to become available here not too long. Tomatoes in your garden, potatoes, tomatoes, zucchini, all these things, cucumbers, and peas, and green beans, and stuff like that, and corn that you've grown. And one of the things that you want to do to kind of help with this preparedness thing is teach yourself learn how to can. You can go to Google, and basically they teach you how to put food up and can it, or there's other ways of preserving. You can freeze, you can dry, freeze dry, you can dehydrate, you can smoke, and so there's a lot of ways that you can go ahead and put food away that you've gotten locally, and then that way. And the other secret, now, it's really cool to have a big stash of food, but you don't want to go spreading the news around. If you start spreading the news around that you happen to have a big stash of food, and all of a sudden the grocery stores all dry up, and you've told some big mouth that, hey, I know, Terry's got a whole big, he's got a garage full of stuff over here. I know my buddy Everett, he's got containers, shipping containers, all locked. And anyway, he buys food by the pallet load. He also buys other things that way too, and he has all this stuff, and he tries his best to take and get people to be prepared. Unfortunately, he doesn't listen to me sometimes, and so a lot of times his messages just kind of go out the window, and he only has like 4 or 5 people that ever watches his videos and stuff. So anyway, the next thing, now see, you're calling on the wrong phone number. I have no idea who that is. And that phone number is on the other side of the room. So hang up, whoever it is. So anyhow, probably my sister. Anyway, well, no, she would know not to call that number. But anyhow, if you want to call and ask a question in my morning show, whatever, just go ahead and text me in on that phone number that I had on the screen just a little while ago. I also always start the show with it on there also. One of the other things, like I said, you can go ahead and call, text, or even email. I can get everything right here on this particular phone, and I can actually see Facebook. Whoever it is really excited about getting through. Anyhow, one of the things that I'm going to finish up with today is the camping. It looks like camping this year is going to be one of the really fun things to do around the country. And so anyway, get out and see some of our national parks and some of our wonders that we have right here in the United States. You don't have to go to China or Biafra or some other foreign country to be able to see beauty. We have enough beauty right here in the United States to fill your lifetime's worth of beauty. And anyway, so camping looks like it's going to be the fun thing that's going to go around this year. People are going to try to stay a little closer to home. Money's been a little tighter. Gasoline, like I said, is a little bit cheaper, but still, you want to throw everybody in the family funster mobile and head on up camping. And, like I said, we got some great spots. We're also doing our own pack trip, so you might want to get a hold of me if you're interested in going on a pack trip back into the country above California there. And so that's about it, except for advertising. Now, Into the West is coming to a network television station right in your own hometown. Now, we've been working on Into the West now for about a year. We're getting ready to start shooting most of the episodes. We've got a lot of scripts ready to go. These shows are going to take and are filmed right here in Nevada, most of them. And anyway, we got some good actors. It's going to be a Western television show, and we're looking to fill up our advertising spaces. And so if you want to get a hold of me, it'll be a great way for somebody that has that's an author, or that let's say they're a physical physical coach, and they want to go ahead and they have a DVD collection that they can have for workout DVDs. And so you can advertise your book, you can advertise your DVD collection, you can advertise your product, your widget you invented. My buddy Tony Hightower invented and created the head pillow. Nice device. Goes right around your head, all the way around, like a halo. And it's got Bluetooth speakers built into it, and he's selling a bunch of them babies right now. So anyway, he's doing really well with the head pillow. Okay, and so Lisa's here. Good evening, Lisa. I hope to see you in the morning too, because you're one of my favorites. And Nancy Wiggin, and let's see who else. 13 other people. 13 other people. Hallelujah. Good afternoon. Good evening, and I hope you're enjoying your dinner. We'll be back tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. on Facebook, and we'll save the YouTube things for at night once in a while. So anyhow, by the way, everything came out okay at the VA today. I have a stiff knee or achy knee, and come to find out it's just a torn ligament. But anyway, I'll be all right. You can't keep an old cowboy down. So like I said, get a hold of me if you want to do some advertising on our show. We'll create a package for you. We'll build you a 30-second television-worthy commercial, and then in turn we'll put it into the show, embed it into the show, and then when it goes to the networks, your commercial will be on our show. And you're going to be in about 12 different markets to start off with, late July, early August. And anyway, it's going to be a great time. So anyway, this is about it for the day. I hope you enjoyed my show, my ramblings, and my sister always tells me, Terry, slow down. And so anyway, I just kind of clip along. I'm kind of like Will Rogers. I need a lariat or something. But anyhow, I hope you enjoyed the show. I'll be back tomorrow, like I said. We'll catch you all in the morning. And in the immortal words of Roy Rogers, it'll be happy trails, and may the good Lord bless and keep you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Adios, folks.